We have a shocking New York Rangers trade update to go over today, as a new report from an insider has revealed that a star player in the league has just become available. And we're going to break down a trade package that will have Rangers fans absolutely fired up and change the entire outlook of this team heading into next season. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 74% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening with your New York Rangers, this is the place to be for all your daily New York Rangers content. So go down below, hit that free subscribe button, and you get to stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. But let's dive right into it. Rumors and reports are flying around the league right now like crazy. I am shocked how much things are flying around considering the Stanley Cup final starts tonight. But the newest one is that the Dallas Stars are looking to move off of star player Jason Robertson. Now, obviously, they just got Mikko Rantanen. Maybe some players are becoming expendable to them. They just had a very awful end to their season. And I'm not saying they're going to blow it up, but there could be some serious changes coming to the Dallas Stars. Now, Jeff Merrick goes on to say, a lot of people are saying that the Stars are thinking of making Jason Robertson available in a trade to create cap space, flexibility, and reacquire draft capital. Now, the last part doesn't excite me, right, for the New York Rangers. Certainly does not excite me. There's other reports flying around right now that the Stars are willing to listen on Jason Robertson. There's some teams that have been thrown around, the Senators, the Ducks. The Rangers are always around things. There's a lot of other teams that have been named as well, not just in this report, but by other insiders as well. And, of course, the rumor mill has been working 24/7 the last couple of days. But I think it's very interesting. A Jason Robertson trade, right? But what would you give up if you're the New York Rangers? And if you're a New York Rangers fan, let me know in the comments. First of all, if you made it this far in the video, what would you give up? Because I'm going to get into a trade package that has a lot of fans split. So let's get right into it. This is from Bald Panarin. Again, this is just a trade, a mock trade of who says no. To the New York Rangers, Jason Robertson, keep in mind he has 1 year left on a $7.75 million contract. Keep that in mind. To the Stars, Will Cuylle, who is an RFA, unsigned right now. Team control, still unsigned. We have some contract projections for him as well at around like 2.25 million, 2.5 million, something like that, based on what other contracts look like in terms of his age and, you know, RFA status, all of that. So that's going to be, I feel like that's maybe a little too low for him. I'm sure he's going to be gunning for more. But in the trade as well, Braden Schneider, who is signed to a 1 year, $2 million, 2.2, excuse me, and their 2025 12th overall pick. So obviously, the Rangers don't want to give up too much draft capital, right? But at the same time, this organization can't draft, like, they can draft players, they can't develop players, right? So will you part with Braden Schneider and Will Cuylle? I have to say, if this is what the trade is, and you know you're going to be able to re-sign Jason Robertson, I do this trade. I do this trade in a heartbeat because Will Cuyle's great. He had a career year. You know, we can take a look at his stats right now, actually. He had 20 goals, 25 assists. He had 45 points in all 82 games. He played all 82 games. And he was a physical force. And that's the one thing I would have a hard time parting with, I have to be honest. It's not just that his point production is going up, because that is obvious, right? He had a career year. But the fact that he's 6'3", he's only going to be 24, and he was throwing the body around like crazy when JT Miller joined the team. He was a physical force, a force to be reckoned with on the Rangers, and one of the only ones at that. So it would be hard for me personally, just in my personal opinion, to part with Will Cuylle. I know there's a lot of people on Twitter and Reddit saying I would do this in a heartbeat. I still think you do this trade, but it would be hard. I have Will Cuyle's jersey behind me. I love Will Cuylle. I love what he brings to the organization and the team. And then Braden Schneider is a great young defenseman. That would be hard to part with. But looking on the other side of things, this is what you're bringing into the team. A going to be 26-year-old, 6'3" forward who scored 80 points in 82 games this past season while being injured. He doesn't even play 20 minutes a night. He was averaging not even 18 minutes, which is insane. Imagine if he got more playing time on the Rangers, because obviously the Stars are so deep. But he had 80 points in 82 games. He was injured, like I said. 35 goals this year, but in the past, I mean, this is a 40-goal, 50-goal scorer. If you could add a 50-goal scorer to the New York Rangers, I think you do that. And, of course, Will Cuylle has a role to play. I understand that. I love Will Cuylle. If this was the trade, I would have a hard time with this trade, to accept this trade. I have to be honest. I love what Will Cuylle brings to it. I still think you do it. This is what I'm saying. But it would be tough. But I just love what he brings to the lineup. But you have a lot of young, hungry players coming up as well. I like what Brennan Othman's been bringing in as well. Brett Berard, for being a small guy, is a very physical player, right? So you have a lot of young guys that are hungry, that are coming through the system. Hopefully they can develop them properly. That's been an issue. But, man, if you have the opportunity to acquire Jason Robertson, I think this guy can score you 50 goals on the New York Rangers. So he would be an instant top-line player. And you can see here from NYR Louis, I am a big Will Cuylle fan, but there's a huge disconnect between what he is and what New York Rangers fans think he is. And, again, I think it's because I have his jersey is maybe why I'm overvaluing him a little bit. But, man, he had a career year last year, and he's throwing the body around. Like, you can win with a player like that is what I'm saying. But, again, you can definitely win with a player like Jason Robertson as well. This guy is an elite talent in this league. As you can see here from AFP Analytics, a lot of people are undervaluing Jason Robertson. Maybe he's very undervalued and underrated around the league, which is insane because Dallas is one of the best teams and has been for a couple of years now, and he's been one of their best players. But he's an elite talent in this league, and he can play either wing. Again, he would be automatically stapled to that top line no matter who's on it, right? Whatever that looks like, he would be on the top line. So, again, if you have the opportunity to acquire this player, he's a 25-year-old, about to be 26. He's due to make only $7.75 million, which if you trade Chris Kreider, you can make that work very easily, especially if you're trading Will Cuylle and trading Braden Schneider, because then you don't have to sign Will Cuylle, and Braden Schneider only makes $2.2 million. I say only, but you're getting off of that $2.2 million. The only thing in that trade is, like, Braden Schneider, I mean, you're pretty solid on the right side. I really like Braden Schneider. I would say maybe look at any other defenseman in the Rangers system, and I think Mancini would be a perfect fit in this scenario. But of course, he went to Vancouver in the JT Miller trade, so that is tough. But he is an elite hockey player, Jason Robertson. He'll be due for a big raise in 2026. Also, the salary cap's going up like $10 million, so you can afford that, right? But he is going to get a significant raise. It's probably going to be double digits in the millions. So, but he's an RFA right now, right? So when his contract does expire next offseason, he's an RFA. So if he's truly on the free agent market or the trade market, the Rangers should be willing to trade almost anything for him. Again, this is a guy who can come in and score 50 goals for you. This would make a huge difference. And if you give JT Miller the captaincy, this team looks a lot different heading into next season. Like, that would be huge. And then you can start to, again, you trade Chris Kreider, you can make it work. Then, you don't have to sign Cuylle. You freed up $2 million. You still have maybe like $8 million to work with, something in that area, because obviously you still have some other contracts to sign too. You can still toy with the defense. You can still try and make the defense better, especially on that left side. So it would be tough to do that, right? Like, if you got Jason Robertson, yes, you got that goal scoring and all that. It would be a great move. But, you do have to put some attention to detail to the defense this offseason. I think that is the priority. But again, when things like this pop up, you have to take advantage of these opportunities. You really do. And this is contract. Of course, he's heading into the last year, $7.75 million. And he's an RFA at the end of this. So it's very interesting. And one last thing before we wrap up here, reports are flying around. Things are not good in Dallas. They might end up firing Pete DeBoer. Feel free to pause and read this if you want. And Robertson, it looks like they want to trade him because they just signed Mikko Rantanen to $12 million. He brings maybe not the exact same thing, but a similar game. And now it seems like Robertson could be expendable because, they're running out of salary cap space. And, there's a lot of other variable things there that the team did not have a good end to their season. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Again, this guy, Jay Fresh chart, all the other analytics, just his, regular stat card, stat page, whatever you want to call it, just regular stats from the season. This guy's an elite player. And yes, you need to focus on the defense, but whenever you have an opportunity like this, if you have to trade Will Cuylle, I will happily swap out the jersey behind me for a Jason Robertson New York Rangers jersey. So let me know in the comments what you think about this trade, this mock trade, or the opportunity to get Jason Robertson, because in this league, you got to give up to get. So if you're going to get a great player like that, you're going to have to give up some good talent. I would hate to see Braden Schneider go, that is for sure. But if it's for Jason Robertson, I think I'm okay with letting Will Cuylle go, that's for sure. So let me know in the comments what you think. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.